Okay, guys, it's Heavy with Motor City Nerds, and my friend, my very good friend, Josh from the NC-17 podcast is here, and this is really impromptu, so here we go. But no, Josh, thank you for doing this. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Now, we were talking about over on his channel. If you're not over there subscribed, you should be. And I'll put everything down below in a minute when I can actually edit the description and whatnot. But we were talking about how much we enjoyed the new Salem's Lot and how we rated it what? I said 7.5, you said 8. And we think it's a great vampire movie, but we're also Stephen King freaks, and we see the potential for Welcome to Derry, and I really want to get Josh's take on that. But yeah, hi Lawrence. I know I haven't been live in a long time. Did you watch the new Salem's Lot? Because we did, but we're gonna get into why we think it's connected to Stephen King and everything too. Lawrence is the best. He always supports. He really is he probably is my favorite subscriber. But no, Josh, where do you want them to connect this directly? Well, not directly. Like we were saying, Stephen King, we're lucky we can just go, oh, did you hear about what happened in Salem's Lot? And then not have a connection. But do you think that they might do like what do you think first off, what do you think they're going to do with Welcome to Derry? Are we going to go Bob Gray? Are we going to go working at the circus?
I think if they do like different seasons, which I'm hoping they do, I'm thinking it should be kind of like American Horror Story.
Oh, no,
like
that's smart.
Season a different decade. So
no, that's smart. That's really smart. I never even thought about them doing something like that because they could go all the way back in time and do that. They could. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. That would be really, really sick. But I didn't even think that they wouldn't do more than one season. I feel like Pennywise is a big enough character that people are going to tune in for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they're gonna greenlight a second season in 5 seconds without us critiquing it. But no, but I do see potential for them. The Stephen King universe is so crazy that like I want them to connect it, but at the same time I don't. But should we go over again our favorite parts of the Salem's Lot movie? By the way, I feel like we should.
The new one or the old one?
The new one.
The new one. I'm gonna say the ambiance of like we said over on NC-17, just the fog, the lighting. To me, it all came hand in hand with how you should do a horror movie.
How you should do a vampire movie. I thought they handled everything really great. I thought Kurt Barlow was great. And me and Josh were talking about this. I think a lot was cut out. I think if this could have been 3.5 hours, like the original, I feel like there was a lot cut here. And for what I think is the bare minimum, that was really good.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm a Salem's Lot freak.
Oh, yeah. So you go from the original miniseries, which was 4 hours and 22 minutes long.
Right.
Then you go to the miniseries of 2004, which was 3 hours and 42 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
And you cut all that and you condense it all down to this new one, which is 1 hour and 54 minutes. Right. So there's tons that they cut out.
No, and there tons. I think tons was, and like I said, I really enjoyed this. But do you think if Pennywise and Welcome to Derry and this do semi-well, that HBO will pull more out of the Stephen King barrel?
HBO is actually they're going to be the streaming spot for the remake of Sleepwalkers.
Not Sleepwalkers.
Yep. And Needful Things.
Sleepwalkers is weird.
I mean, the whole thing about the relationship between the mother and son, I'm like, I can live without that.
I think maybe, here's the thing with Sleepwalkers. I think I watched that way too young. And I think I'm telling you, I think I watched that at a sleepover with my cousins or something. And I think I was like 8.
Oh, yeah.
So the mom-son stuff really stuck with me and being like, this is weird. But I didn't know they were doing a remake of it. But if they could, like I said, it could be awesome to connect. But at the same time, you don't need to connect it.
True.
See, but no, you're fine. Sorry, I have ADD brain and I'm all over the place. I just wanted to get some of our thoughts about Salem's Lot out first before we go straight into Welcome to Derry. But that American Horror Story thing you said just stuck with me. Like, Because I don't know if people know about Pennywise. Because when are the first documents of him? Like,
so if you read the book,
and then
the
the Dillinger gang, or like the Dillinger gang comes through. There's all types of stuff. There's and then there's always the creepy stuff around town, like the factory blowing up and the black spot getting burned down and the town itself being evil. But here's what I'm hoping. Here's what I'm going to say about Welcome to Derry. Please just make it like 6 concise, well done episodes. Don't make it 10. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just get to the point.
I'd even say maybe 7 episodes, but not past 7.
But here's the other part. Are we going to bring up the turtle? Is the turtle going to come in? I think it needs to in my dreams, but if they bring in the turtle, they're going to have to connect it to the Dark Tower series.
Yeah.
They're going to have to, but I'm like, are we just not going to talk about the turtle? Because who would be the hero in the show? Or is it just going to be Pennywise? Let's put it this way. Pennywise isn't the penguin. We're not going to be able to do some charming buddy story about Pennywise. Like,
true. I think they purposely left the turtle stuff out of like the original and the remake.
Because everyone would think it was crazy. That's why.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the book that they don't add into the movies because they can't.
Because it's insane?
Yeah.
No. We won't get into weird stuff. But I'm like, no, with Pennywise, there's no redeeming quality about that character. He's just evil. He's just the worst evil that ever existed. So I'm very curious of what they're going to do with Welcome to Derry. But now I'm like, if Salem's Lot can do well, and I think this was good.
Oh, yeah.
I want this. Mark Petrie is a maniac. That Mark Petrie, we were talking about it. He's a lunatic. He didn't care that his parents had to go. He did not have any. He bludgeoned a man to death.
Yes.
That kid was great. I want him to have a cameo in Welcome to Derry. I want him to be like, I've been dealing with crazy shit before, and I'm leaving this town. Just something small. That character, whether he's older or whatever, I want him to have a cameo, HBO.
Here we go. How about this? And this is going to literally just pop in my head. What if they have Mark as a recurring character throughout the Stephen King stuff now, but only as an occultist who tackles all this stuff?
He would be like Mike Hanlon, but for everything. Like,
exactly.
He would be the one going like, no, I'm documenting this. And I remember when that happened, I would die. I would be so happy if they did that. But then, like I said, then my mind just keeps going back to the Dark Tower. I'm like, because then we could get really crazy with it. Make this kid Jake Chambers is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah.
Cast this kid Jake Chambers. That'd be sick. And then just be like, oh, no, it's a different multiverse.
True. So with the remake, takes place in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes place in Maine.
Yes.
Well, actually, everything with Stephen King. But the thing is in the 70s, that's when a lot of Pennywise stuff was going on.
That's what I'm saying here. I'm like, we could get a direct connection in that show because it is when the 90s and the 2010s.
Yep.
So we can go back in time, or Mark can be older. I don't care. But I'm just very curious of. I think if Stephen King was really backing this production for Salem's Lot.
Yes.
And so that makes me think because sometimes they say we're working with whoever made it, but that makes me go, oh no, Stephen King, you're fucking with HBO heavy. And that makes me go, no, you really care about this Dark Tower thing coming, and you must care about that Welcome to Derry, because I'm assuming Stephen King. I feel like the Stephen King fandom isn't like Tolkien. Like we're not. I feel like we're not as bad about like, oh no, something was changed a little bit. Like I don't think that we would have that issue as much, and I think it would be really cool to have some really cool stuff happen. It could be. That's what I mean. I'm like. How often does Pennywise come back? Every 30 years?
Every 30 years.
Is it every 30 or is it every like 23 or something ridiculous?
No, it's every 30.
Yeah, no. We could have, Mark would be older. But no, if Pennywise goes back, then we could just have anything. Because like I said, Derry's always inherently evil. Salem's Lot is always inherently evil. It's the same thing like they were doing with the clippings in the beginning of Salem's Lot, the new one, of going, we saw whatever, and this happened. And then I think in the original It movie, or maybe it's in the new one, someone has a clipping of like dog in Castle Rock goes crazy and tries to eat kid and mom in car. And it's like, that's Cujo. And that's what I mean. We could get references like that.
Oh, yeah.
I think if this does, I really do. I think Stephen King is fucking with HBO heavy, and I think we're about to get good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well,
we better.
So the funny thing, and that was the remake of It that they mentioned, the the Cujo stuff.
Right.
But they also, and did you see the remake of The Stand?
The Peacock show?
Yeah.
No.
They referenced.
Is it on Peacock or Paramount? Because I have Peacock now.
It was on Paramount.
Damn it.
Yeah, okay. But it was definitely referencing a lot of other Stephen King stuff.
Was The Stand. Here's what I think is cool. I think that Skarsgård, Alexander Skarsgård, I love him. He would be a great walking dude. But the walking dude is related to Pennywise. And the Skarsgård over there is Pennywise. So I really liked that, but I genuinely think that's good casting. If I could get that universe, why did they make that? Now I want The Stand on HBO. That's all I want.
Hey, you never know. Because so Stephen King has this thing of every so many years he does want to like have one of his movies remade.
Yes.
And his son is actually in the process of getting ready to remake The Langoliers.
Not The Langoliers. We're getting Sleepwalkers and Langolier remakes.
And
The Langoliers scared me as a kid.
I mean, yeah, it was creepy. Yeah.
I don't know why. No, I don't know. It scared me.
Let's talk about this Salem's Lot for a second.
Okay.
We didn't mention it in NC-17, but I do want to mention it here. They used just the right amount of blood and gore.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. I agree with their usage of Kurt Barlow. I agree with, and like we also were saying this, the on the roof shit, the standing on the roof shit, the creeping on the wall shit, the scratchy noises. That's all we need. We got old school, everybody understands the rules, vampires.
Oh, yeah.
Crosses, garlic, holy water, stakes, no bullshit. the sun, and Mark, bludgeoning humans and killing vampires left, right, and center. And he was the best. That was so good. And we were saying this, best depiction of Ben Mears.
Yes.
That is the closest Ben Mears. That's the best adaptation of it. And rest in peace, David Soul. I'm not saying you're a bad one, but adaptation from the book, best Ben Mears we've ever gotten. I really liked it.
Oh, yeah. So the funny thing is I was reading up on it a while back. So Stephen King based Mears off of himself.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's really into the writer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got, but I believe that. Like, because that's what I mean. Ben's like, and that's the thing we were saying. He's only there for like a couple days. Yeah. So we really like Susan dying sucks, but we don't need to dwell on it. So I liked all that. But yeah, no, this Ben Mears is quiet and he's just there. He's a weirdo. He's creeping around your town and watching a creepy house. And he's kind of awkward. And I liked that about this one. And he was real serious. And I liked this Ben Mears a lot.
So I don't know if you kind of picked up on it, but I know I did. So Ben Mears in a Marston house in the remake had no connection.
Yes. No.
But
yeah.
But in the original and in the 2004 remake, there was somewhat of a connection.
Yeah, no, that was a car wreck for his parents or something. There was no, and then in the original, isn't he like, my friend came here and no, he walked in, he broke in with his friends and saw someone hanging, something crazy. He has a weird trauma with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that they didn't allude to any of that makes me think they're going to do a part 2.
Do you think that? I kind of thought that. I kind of thought that for a minute. I was like, are they going to do? Because at the end of the original and in the book, they're in Mexico, but it's because we've super fast forwarded things. And there
Yeah.
is a second book for Salem's Lot, but I think, but I've never read it if there is. But no,
There
I
is, but yeah.
or is it like a short story or something? I don't
Short
know.
story.
Yeah, I know there's something, but I kind of thought that. I go, "Oh, are we going into a sequel here?" But I don't know. I would take the Ben Mears, Mark Petrie team up show because
Oh,
oh wait, they would be okay if we show Pennywise back in time, those two could be on the road together already. Like we just went through some shit back there,
yep.
and then everyone's like, "Oh," when they're like, "We're getting the hell out of Maine because we just killed everybody in our hometown."
Oh yeah. But let's talk about that though. The isolation in that movie, in the remake, the isolation was so much better than what it was in the original.
This is what I mean about even the lighting with stuff like that. The way they were using shadows, the way everything was going dark, the way it was like you're totally alone out here, it's just you, was done very well. The way the house was, the way even the town itself, when they were showing them up there, you knew this is a one light town, ain't nobody coming.
Yeah.
We're alone out here. And I did really like that. I'm glad you brought that up. I do have one critique though about the Marston house.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would have utilized that set piece more, but that's about it.
Yeah, because really all they really used was the basement and the living room.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's just because I think the Marston house is cool, but it's neither here nor there. But no, that is, I mean, it's a nitpick. But no, I really like the drive-in stuff. I liked that she brings up everybody being in the trunk in the beginning, and then we bring it up at the end. I like that, and I like having a switch up from because we've read these and we've watched these, so I like having a change up, and I liked that. I thought that was cool. And we were saying this, the use of sunlight when it actually showed up, they were going down, and they made a point to show you here's where they're being blocked by the sun. Here's why this is happening, and they did that really well too.
Oh yeah. Now, something I didn't talk about over on the other show that I will talk about here. I did not like the final fight scene in the remake as much as I liked the final fight scene in the original. Because in the original, he had to hammer it in.
Going to town.
And in this one, he's just like, I'm like, come on, man.
I thought that too. My one thing, I didn't hate this. I didn't like Kurt Barlow like shooting out of the coffin. I wish he would just like gripped up Mark or whoever was getting him out. I didn't like the shooting out of it, but I didn't despise it. It didn't ruin things for me.
Yeah.
Because they kept everything else basic. We got basic vampire shit here. Undead, want to drink your blood, creeping around, crawling up walls. I'm cool with that.
Oh, yeah. Another thing too is all right. A nitpick here for me, when they're at the drive-in and the sun is like still there and where they are for the concession stand, there's no way Susan would have been able to get in that stand without getting burned.
I assumed she was inside. No, she was chasing them.
Yeah, she was in her trunk.
No, yeah, you're right. Was there another one in there? Because I remember maybe it was a different scene because I was like, oh, maybe they were inside. Oh, maybe it was Mike or something. Oh, can we talk about that? Okay, the window stuff, they did well. But one thing I thought was really like, I didn't like it, was when the teacher goes outside because he knows something's wrong with Mike. And he looks and you can see the feet going through. Just the feet going in the window creeped me out. I was like, oh, that was scary. And it's just enough for him to go. Because I did like that they all kind of thought for a second, but not very long. Am I going crazy right now? But they're like, no, I know what I saw. It's a goddamn vampire. It's happening because it's a goddamn, our town's infested. Nobody wasted any time here.
Oh, yeah. I will say, though, like, the true hero of that whole movie was Mark.
Yes. No, Mark really was. And I honestly, I've thought, and they don't say this, but I thought they said Bowers, like Henry Bowers with it in them. That's the bully in it. And I thought that was the name they gave to the kid that came up and punched him in the mouth in the beginning. And I was like, stop. That was when I first was like, you're going out of your way now. But it wasn't. It wasn't his name. But I think it was really close to it. And that's why I'm like, are we dark towering? I don't know. But also, no, Mark was the hero. And honestly, now that I'm rethinking about it, now that you said it like that, he really is like the real hero of this, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like the actual hero of this movie. Like Ben does stuff, but it's more of like the outsider who we're viewing it all through. Mark's the one who's like, get it together. Everybody needs to get it together right now. And he's the one who says don't split up.
Yeah, he single-handedly took out a majority of the vampires.
He did everything. He really, I'm telling you, I was really taken back when he smashed the undead keeper's face in. Like when he killed Euron Greyjoy, I was like, oh my God. Like he wasted, I thought he was going to say like, I'm something, like hesitate at all because he's an 11-year-old boy. And he did not. He just smashed their head in. And I was like, oh my God, this Mark is nuts. I was kind of shocked. And I liked this, that he like got out of it himself.
Yeah.
I really was like, oh man, someone's gonna have to come save Mark. And then I thought like, oh, this is how him and Ben will become BFFs. And then I was like, oh no, Mark is loose.
Oh yeah.
Mark is loose on the town.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about the whole dynamic between like, all right, so the dynamic between the doctor, Ben, Mark, for some reason that dynamic just seemed, I would have been happy if all three of them made it.
Me too.
But I understand why they didn't.
Well, I thought maybe she'll live. Okay, because like I said, my Dark Tower brain starts going. So when they did off Father Callahan, I was like, okay, because he don't die. And so I was like, maybe they're flip-flopping the doctor in.
Yeah.
And then they didn't, and I was sad, but I did like her a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But you said it on the other show, on NC-17, you said like one line of vocabulary can make a whole movie.
Seriously.
And I'm sorry, but when Barlow says, oh, a priest who lost his faith, I was like, oh, you're about to fucking die, bro.
That part. No, and I liked that, but I was like, I wish we could have got more Father Callahan losing his faith. But then again, like I said, I'm just a Father Callahan fan. But I'm like, oh, we just made him a drunk? Because I was like, he's just in jail. That was kind of funny. But that's also small town life.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, so-and-so parked your car. It's fine. And I'm like, no, that's small town America life with 1,000 people.
Oh, yeah. So here's something funny. And I put this connection together, but it's like not really connected. So you heard of Roanoke, right?
Oh, yeah. They claim that Pennywise was involved in that.
Right. So my thing is was this not literally, I mean, we knew what was happening, but the entire town is just gone.
Right. No, yeah.
You know, and no one's going to believe Ben or Mark that it's fucking vampires.
Right. And that's why I'm like, they can do some interesting stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
And keeping that open-ended, yeah, that they could do something with that.
Oh, yeah. I was so hoping for an end credit scene or something.
I was too. I thought they were going to do that.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm not going to lie, though. Just the music alone at the end when the credits were rolling was making me think like, all right, so they are going to do a part 2.
No, yeah, I really kind of felt that way. I'm like, are they leaving this open-ended? And I was like, no, there's no way. And then I was like, well, maybe the characters, yeah, they could if they really want. If this is, I saw a lot of people were interested in this. More people were interested in this than I thought.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, especially Halloween time, too.
Oh, yeah.
They should have been advertising it more.
Yeah. The thing is when they came out yesterday, there was 2 other horror movies that came out too. One on Hulu called Lose Your Breath or something like that.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Or never something, yeah.
And then there was something like that. But then there was another one that came out, I think, on Hulu or something else. Netflix, but we got 30 horror movies coming out this month.
That's a lot. Well, yeah, I feel like a lot of things have been. I feel like I'm mixing certain horror movies up. I feel like I'm seeing so many ads for things that I'm like, wait, did I hear about this or not? Because I don't. Oh, and when is the Terrifier coming to Michigan?
The Terrifier, where you get to see it with the director and actor, is on the 26th.
That's what I thought. I thought the 23rd, but I was like, okay, I knew that was coming, but no, I still have a bunch of things I need to watch. But it was funny. I saw somebody online posted like 30 movies I'm going to watch for Halloween, and Night of the Demons was in their top 5, and I was like, oh my god, like people are really talking about it. Was like they're kind of a big creator, I guess. Like they definitely have a following, and I was like, oh my god, yeah. I was like, talk about that one because Josh loves it, and I have it on my list to watch, and it'll remind me.
Oh yeah. Also, you don't mind if I do a shameless plug here, do you?
Oh no, do it. Shamelessly plug.
All right. So if you're not following NC-17 with Josh and Lisa over on YouTube, please do. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, even if it's, hey, you got a booger in your nose. Doesn't matter to me. But we are hosting a viewing of this movie, Return of the Living Dead, on the 19th. It was going to be the 12th, but it is now the 19th at the MJR Cinema 20 Marketplace in Sterling Heights. Tickets are on sale. Go to Eventbrite. Just look up NC-17.
Send me the link and I'll put it down below.
Will do.
All right. No, and Josh is always doing cool stuff, so make sure you follow him. And yeah, we'll talk about that more after this. But because I'm definitely going if everything is panning out correctly in my life. But no, and I just want to thank you again for coming on. And we can keep going about Salem's Lot and Stephen King, but I'm not gonna lie, I had my tooth pulled yesterday, everybody, and it hurts. But if you want to come on tomorrow and talk more vampire stuff, I'm totally down to, Josh.
Shoot. Vampires, zombies, werewolves, oh my. Count me in. I'll be there.
Let me ask you this before we go. I'm feeling like, you know, when there's normally like a vibe each Halloween and people start like decorating a certain way, I feel like this Halloween, everything's pretty classic.
Yes.
Like movies, like I feel like I'm seeing a lot of just classic vampires, classic zombies, classic Frankenstein, classic everything, and I'm really here for it.
This year seems more vintage for horror than any other year. So I agree with you there.
It's like I don't know what it is. Like everybody I feel like is on the same wavelength with it. And I'm like, even like people decorating their homes and like streaming services and everybody though. I'm like, I feel like everyone's like, no, we're going with old school vibe is what we want.
Oh yeah.
No, I thought I was the only one.
If we're gonna go old school, there is one movie I have to mention that no one else ever does, and I don't know why. It's a B movie, but we gotta talk about Critters or Critters 2.
Oh my god, yes! I need to rewatch Critters. I just got it out of my collection. We can talk about Critters. We're gonna be on here more talking about stuff for sure because I really miss going live and I really miss talking about stuff. And when Welcome to Derry comes out, we're definitely doing that. But yeah, no, I'm terrible at ending these things. But thank you for coming on. And yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe. Go check out NC-17 podcast. And I don't know. I'm really excited. And this Salem's Lot made me excited. But we'll be back, everybody.